Hold of the Sea Princes. His Royal Highness, the Prince of Monmurg, ruler of the Azure Sea, captain of all fleets. Capital Monmurg, population 14,200. Total population 100,000 plus. Demi-humans few. Humanoids probable. Resources foodstuffs. The buccaneers of the Azure Sea and Jaclia Bay grew strong and wealthy when Keoland was at the height of its power. For the eyes of its leaders were turned northwards towards empire, and the sea raiders were ignored. These privateers took to calling themselves sea princes after a particularly successful captain who was in fact of noble birth. Sailing unchecked from their island and mainland strongholds, these raiders were the scourge of the coasts from Gradsil to Scant on the Pomarge, and even beyond into the Sea of Garnet and the Tilva Strait. When Keoland turned back from imperial expansion, her navy began to rebuild in order to check the threat of the Sea Princes, as they were now commonly known. Their numbers and strength had become so great, however, that the Keoish fleet, even with the aid of a squadron of Ulek warships, could at best deliver a sharp check to them at the Battle of Jetsam Island. This lesson caused their leaders to rethink their policies, however, and several of the wiser captains retired to mainland estates, appointing lieutenants to command their ships, not in piratical or raiding activities in the Flanaess, but on expeditions to the Amedio coasts, and thence to trade northwards with the rare woods, spices, ivory, and gold, which they wrested from the jungle savages. Eventually, the mainland possession of the Sea Princes amounted to more territory than their island homes, and they practiced little formal raiding. Today, they are still probably the strongest sea power, but they also have a small and efficient army and are relatively peaceful traders. If these people have a fault, it is that they allow the use of slaves in their nation, despite strong protests from the yeomanry. It is reported that the Prince of Monmurg would abolish this practice, but his fellow nobles, the Prince of Toli, the Plar of Hool, and the Grandee of Westkeep, along with the Commodores of Jetsam, Fairwind, and Flotsam, prevent it.